I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what company you work for. If people do not know, like, and trust you, they're not doing business with you. Don't judge me for my success. Judge me for the number of times that I've fallen down and gotten back up. You have to think of the alternative. Choose your heart. Winning is hard. Losing is hard.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the Get Busy podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm here with you, Eszylfie Taylor.
Yes.
You are quite a story. I was reading about you last night, and you're a financial advisor, but you're also like a personality, kind of a celebrity financial advisor. And you are a very productive human being. And you study yoga. And
Yes,
you're a girl dad.
yes, all the things.
You're
Check,
all
check,
the things.
check.
So I can see, I think Boulder would be a good place for you to.
Next stop.
That's where I'm
Boulder.
from. That's where I'm from. So I want to talk to you, first of all, about being a financial advisor, right? And I was talking to our producer, Robert, earlier, and he's like, financial advisor, it's like being a doctor. It's like, what kind are you? So let's talk about, what you do. And I also would love to talk about all of the misinformation about financial planning that is out there in the social universe.
Sure.
But first of all, let's start with your practice. What makes you different, and why, like you're a cool guy. Like, why are you in financial planning?
Yeah, I think, you've got the ideology of the quintessential 50-year-old overweight white male.
Right,
I'm
right.
not that.
No, you're opposite.
I think, I grew up in Southern California. My father was a doctor. My mother worked for the government for many years. And I grew up in when there was a middle class household with professional parents. But I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about real estate and the like. Graduated magna cum laude with a degree in business, but entered this world literally like drinking from a fire hydrant, all this stuff coming at me, and didn't know how to make heads or tails of it. And so, to be frank, I got into the business of being a financial advisor because I wanted to make a lot of money. Right? I was 22 years old when I graduated. I was like, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the time I'm 25. Right? 3 years. That's enough time to do it. But as I progressed in my career, I found what a calling to be able to make money as a byproduct of helping people. And so my role, and to your point as a financial advisor, the term is used very loosely, is and what separates me is I really look to build authentic relationships with the people that I work with and create what I call bespoke plans. And so there's no cookie cutter or off the shelf plan. Everything needs to be specifically contoured to the individual. Everyone has different objectives and needs and desires and wishes, and your plan should reflect that. So one thing I say a lot is it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I want. It doesn't matter what I do. It's not my life. It's not my money. It's yours. So I literally try to say, okay, with my 25 years of experience, if I put myself in your shoes, what would I want the guy across the table telling me? And that is how I operate with my clients.
So a lot of people say that, right? Like, I'm not in this for me. I'm in this to service a certain community. And I think that's true. And I think you have to approach your business that way, right? Like a very consultative kind of relationship. But how do you do that?
I always say, people say, what are your office hours? When do you work? Well, eyes open, eyes shut. So from the minute I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I always say I'm shaking hands, kissing babies, and trying to build relationships with people. One of the reasons why I have so many, I own 12 companies, right? So the advisory work, but from my production work in film and television, to a restaurant, to a yoga studio, to a nonprofit, all of these things, the common thread amongst them is that I'm building relationships with people. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what company you work for. If people do not know, like, and trust you, they're not doing business with you. And so I literally lead with this spirit of, I say, givers get. So when you look to give and help and connect, the money will come. I'm not really worried about
I so believe that.
The money.
Like every time I've chased money in my career, every single time I've ended up miserable.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're putting, money before everything else.
Right.
And it, like, you are setting yourself up, maybe not for total failure, but for an emotional collapse.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. It's an empty pursuit, right? And so, but you've also mastered, you're a celebrity in your own right, right? Like, you have a message, you have a platform, and you tell stories, right? To help people.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody, you know, for entrepreneurs out there who are listening to this, how did you get yourself on a stage like that? I mean, you're a natural, charismatic.
You know, all natural talent aside. No, you know, I tell people, arguably, I'm the biggest failure you've ever met.
Why would you say that?
I have fallen down, stumbled, lost, been lied to, stolen from countless times. But one quote I love is, don't judge me for my success. Judge me for the number of times that I've fallen down and gotten back up. Right? So essentially, winners are just losers that tried one more time.
Right.
So I keep getting up. I keep pushing forward. I keep persisting. And ultimately, I call it the 2 A's. Success is something that is there for all of us. We just have to reach out and go grab it.
Correct.
It will not be given to you.
Yep.
You're not given a chance. You take chances. But people lack the A's, either the attitude or the aptitude required to be successful. And the attitude is this mindset of positivity. Yes, I can. You have to have that inner voice, right, telling you that you can, to keep pushing forward. And then obviously the aptitude. You have to do the work, right? I think especially in this day and age, people think, okay, I showed up. Where's my participation trophy?
Right.
Well, there are no participation trophies, right? You don't get a gold medal for coming in 8th place. You come in 8th place, you lose, right? And so I think this idea of not only showing up, but I say you got to show up and show out. Right? You got to do the thing, right? Also, and even then, I've done everything that's required of me. I prepared, I planned, I did the thing, and I still lost. Well, today, you just haven't won yet.
Right.
So you just have to keep pushing. I've been, and I don't know, I think social media talks to us, and maybe I've gone on this rant. I'm looking at all these business success stories. And this is even something I can see in my experience from filming my own television show to working with successful clients. And they all have massive failures.
Yeah.
They all have a moment where you're like, payroll or my mortgage, food or gas.
Right.
And they all had these moments, myself included. And we see success and we celebrate success, but we don't often see the journey and what happened. And again, people think success is this linear line. And in the reality, it's this topsy-turvy world. But it's like, you know, that's, I think, what makes it that much more gratifying when you get it. Even as you sit here and say, wow, you know, celebrity and that. And I just look at, I'm like, I feel like I'm a regular guy, right? You know, but I do take inventory of what I've done and where I've come, and I've come, you know, a long way. But you say preliminarily what got me there was just it's a belief. Right?
But not everybody has that capability, right? Like failure, you know, it is part of the process of being an entrepreneur, being a human, honestly.
Yeah.
And there are people who are able to dust it off and, you know, learn from it and move on. And there are some people who let failure define them, right? How do you... And then, you know, you were talking about like that aptitude, right? The positivity. Not everybody has that, right? So what is your advice for somebody who maybe doesn't have your attitude? How do you get your attitude, right? Like, where does it come from?
Does a rose bush have thorns?
Yes.
Or does a thorn bush have roses?
Either one.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective is not the truth. It's what you see. If you don't like what you see, then change it.
Right.
And if you can't change it, then change the way you think about it. So when we think about this metaphorical storm that comes in our lives, it's said that storms don't always come to destroy us. Sometimes storms come to clear our paths.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you cannot have the rainbows without the rain. You cannot have a testimony without a test. So when we're going through these trials and, oh, my relationships are threatened, my friendships are compromised, my business is faltered, rather than saying, oh, woe is me and being in despair, right? You can look at that, maybe there's something better for me. Every single person can attest to this, that there's something in your life that you worked for, that you earned, that you deserved, and you didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're pissed off or sad or hurt, whatever. Pick the emotion. And later on, something else happened in your life, a bigger blessing. And actually, had that first thing happened, you wouldn't have gotten the bigger blessing. So rather than saying, oh, what was me and this happened to me, knowing that no matter what we have gone through in our life, and this is not something unique to me, yourself, all the viewers, right? Because you have always gone through tragedy and come out on the other side of it, in the midst of tragedy, rather than, putting your head down, just know, right, there's going to be brighter days. And so I just choose to, even in the midst of it, smile now. Even as I sit here, I'm going through a lot of challenges, major changes. Yet I persist. Yet I'll keep the smile on my face because I know it's for purpose.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you think about this again, going back to this ideology of a storm, right? I was reading something the other day, and there's 3 types of people, relationships that we'll have, right? You've got leaves, you've got branches, and you've got roots, right? And if you're thinking about a tree, if there's a storm that came, what happens to the leaves? Well, the leaves are just there for a good time. So the first sign of some struggle, the leaves are gone, right? A branch could withstand a little bit more, but if you lean on a branch too hard, what happens? It'll snap, it'll break. But the roots are ground down. Winds come, rains come, it doesn't matter. Solid foundation. And so for me, it's the depth and the quality of people, the roots, right, of people that I'm looking for in my life today, rather than the quantity. And there was a time in my life where I wanted to have gazillion dollars and millions of friends and today, it's about the quality of a man, the quality of a woman, the depth of the relationship for me that really matters. And so that would be what I would tell people, is look for those people, hang on to those people, and seek to be that for someone else, to be that root. And if you do that and you have your vision and you're unyielding, I call it, a sickness. I call it a sickness. If you're obsessed about it, right? And you do not stop and you will not quit, and people will doubt you, they will. Right? But if people doubt you, then my encouragement, my advice, my desire for everyone is to go so far that you can't hear them anymore. People doubt how far you can go, right? And so what I found is that whether you're in finance like me, you're in tech, you're in real estate, athletics, music, it doesn't really matter. These ideologies, this mindset is required to be successful.
And what about, one of the major pain points for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially younger people, the thing that slows a lot of founders down is a fear of failure, right? And fear is that thing that stops you from doing what will make you happy, right? How do you, from your perspective and your your yoga studies, and what is your advice to dealing with the fear that comes with being solitary? Entrepreneurship is a lonely pursuit, right?
Yeah.
And all the weird, creepy anxieties chase you.
Yeah.
So what is your advice?
Fear is simply false expectations appearing real. So my advice, if you cannot get over your fear, then do it afraid.
Yeah.
I had a lot of anxiety.
No one's ever said that to me before. That is really good. I'm going to take that.
Go ahead.
All right.
I got one line. Right? You're going to church today, did you? I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of anxiety coming out of school and starting my career. And
over what? Fear of failure? Of fear of...
Yeah, because it's real. I think for me, at least, my life was relatively scripted growing up, right? Graduating high school wasn't really an accomplishment for me.
Yeah.
Graduating college wasn't an accomplishment for me. These were expectations. These were being set forth. And now you graduate and you go into the real world, and good luck, kid.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
And so
total exposure.
Right.
Right.
It's go time. And so I'm not exaggerating when I say every mixer, every exchange you could have, every referral you could get, every party you could go to. I went to all of them. And if you said, wow, they all worked out well and they were all fruitful, no, I wasted a lot of time too. A lot of it was trash. But the problem is you never know if something's going to be good or not unless you go. But what I didn't want to do is assume. I promised myself as I was finishing school, there will be no what ifs. So you said, how do you get over the fear or what propels you to move? You have to think of the alternative. Choose your heart.
Right.
Winning is hard. Losing is hard.
But also being, paralyzed is the worst feeling ever, right?
But my point is choosing your heart. If I work hard, right, and I'm successful, that was hard. But if you sit here in despair and you can't pay your bills and you get evicted, that's also hard.
It is hard.
Being rich is hard. Being poor is hard. Choose your heart.
Yeah.
Being in shape is hard. Being out of shape and overweight is hard. Choose your heart.
Yeah.
Being married is hard. Getting divorced is hard. Choose your heart. It's like, for me, it's like, think of the game of football, right? Wide receivers running down the field. Quarterback wears his back, throws him the ball. Wide receiver goes to catch the ball. What does he see out of the corner of his eye? That defensive player coming.
Yeah, coming.
He has a choice. He can catch the ball or he can short arm it and protect himself. Either way, what's going to happen?
He's going to get hit.
Either way, he's going to get hit.
He doesn't have
So
a
here's
chance.
my point.
Yeah.
Here's my point, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to deal with business challenges, strained relationships, strained friendships, financial challenges, economic challenges, right? You're going to deal with all that, catch the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get hit.
Either way.
Either way.
You're going down.
Either way. Catch the ball.
Yeah.
Make it right. We didn't get all dressed up for nothing. Right? We're here to win. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right. And so that would be my challenge. And so it's like I got 4 daughters, 18, twins who are 15, a
I
little
have
baby.
twin daughters too.
Yeah.
I know.
And I tell my girls.
Wait, how old is the youngest?
2. She'll be 2.
That.
Yeah. I had a starter marriage, so I got 3 older.
Wow, that's
yeah.
too many
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, just throw another hot dog on the grill. They're right. But yeah, and being a girl dad too. I got 4 girls. As a younger man, I used to pray to God. He sent girls to hang all over me, and he took me literally.
Yeah, it worked out.
God, be careful if you ask for. He's listening. But I teach them too. It's like doing what's required to win. That's not fun, right? Studying isn't fun, right? Doing your homework isn't fun, right? Training for your events is not fun. Right? Being sore and tired is not fun. What's fun is hoisting that trophy, holding up that medal. That's fun.
Yeah.
Right? This will be apropos, right? So my 3 daughters, older daughters, on one Saturday morning, they're like, Dad, can we ride our bikes to breakfast? I said, all right, let's go. Get on our bikes. What they didn't realize is the ride to breakfast was uphill.
Oh.
Right? So we're about a block in. They're like, hey, Dad, this is hard. I was like, hey, keep pushing, right?
Yep.
We gotta go. Get about halfway there and I start sweating. Whew. Dad, can we take a break? I said, nah, no breaks. We get 3/4 of the way. Now they start crying. Please, Dad, please let us get off the bike. I said, nope, can't get off. Right? We're 1 block away. They could see the restaurant. It's right there, Dad. Now can we stop? I said, no, you have to finish. So we crossed the street. They're panting and sweating and crying. Oh, I could sit down on this bench. I said, I love this moment.
Yeah.
It's like a life. When you started on this journey, it sounded like a good idea. Probably like many of the entrepreneurs in this battle right now, right? But it ended up being a lot more work than you ever thought it would be.
But you commit.
But you didn't stop.
Yeah.
You didn't quit. And now we get to eat pancakes. And there's one more thing. The ride home is downhill.
Yeah.
So I share with my girls, I share with the listeners, we do the hard stuff first.
Yeah.
Right? So we do the hard stuff first, and then comes the pancakes.
Yeah.
Right?
And the downhill.
And there it is. And then yes, exactly. And it's the A's, it's the attitude or the aptitude, right? Is my mindset right? Those that think they can do something and those that think they cannot do something are both usually right.
Are we talking through right now? Is this the Taylor method?
This is the Taylor method. This is the Taylor way. Call it. This is how I.
Because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's your deal. Yeah.
I've been a financial advisor for 25 years. I created a system called the Taylor method, which I call the objection-free sales process. I think by my estimation, I've done well over 35,000 client meetings in my career. So everything you can experience working with a client, I've gone through it. And I put together this system for advisors, but what I realized is not
it's
really,
life.
It's not, you could be a financial advisor, you could be a realtor, you could be a tech startup. It doesn't really matter, right? It's the same principles, but that's what separates us, because the technical nuance of whatever field you're in, that could be learned, right? You know, that's fine. It's the soft skills. It's that internal drive, right? That separates us. And I say this all the time. I'm smarter than people that make more money than me. Some people that make way more money than I'm smarter than, right? But they either have a niche or a relationship that got them. And there are people smarter than me that make 50 grand a year.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that the crux, the pinnacle, if you will, is when you have both.
Yeah.
What happens when you have the relationships and the drive and the technical knowledge, right? And so I think far too many times people spend too much time, and maybe this is you're talking to your founders, on the technical aspect and not just getting their hands dirty.
Yeah.
Leap. And it's funny, with my company, Taylor Method, I have my business associate there, my partner, and you know, he's a measure twice, cut once kind of guy, wants to test everything, you know, and I kind of, it looks good, let's go. So we'll do a conference or something, and I'll come back and he's like, how did it go? And I'm like, I just sold this plan to everyone. And he's like, okay, well, let's model it out and test it. I'm like, no, I sold it already. Like, they're waiting for it a week. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, like, yeah, we'll figure it out. You know?
Right.
And so it's often good that if everyone was like me, then it'd be chaos, but it's good to be bold.
Yeah.
Right? Only something good comes in life from being bold. Either you're going to get something you never had, or continue not to have what you didn't have anyway. So when you can shed the ego part, right? Because think about it. But if I try, what if I fail? Do you have a successful business now? No. So if you try and it doesn't work, you still don't have a successful business.
Right.
So you're either going to have a successful business or still be broke. So have you really lost?
Yeah.
Maybe it bruised the ego, but
it's the ego. The ego is the problem in startup land and, Silicon Valley. And we talk a lot about, I've interviewed a lot of psychologists and, the ego. And, it's easy to say you have to drop your ego, right? The ego is your enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will slow you down and completely trip you up. And then actually doing it, right? Like, what is it for... And, young entrepreneurs, they don't know yet, right? Like, they don't know what they don't know. But if you had an opportunity to talk to a young entrepreneur about ego and about how, I think you have to have a little bit of it in order to get somewhere, but it's that ego that will really hold you back from greatness, right?
Yeah, I think ego, or maybe call it this belief in yourself, and you have to have it, right? You have to have it, and so not ego in the sense of a belief in yourself. That should be. Look, when I was 22 and I started my business, my head probably wouldn't fit through this wall. I was like, I hadn't done anything yet, right? But my chest is fucked out, like,
I know everything.
Right? And so it's funny, the older I've gotten, the more I accomplish, the more humble I become.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I was like, I'm going to take over the world. Watch me. If you see me in a fight with a bear, then pray for the bear, right? Like, I'm coming.
Confidence.
Yes. And so there's these 3 stages that I say. I think in the beginning, as I reference, and we start our careers, it's like drinking from a fire hydrant. We're like, overwhelmed. And then I think we come to this stage, the second stage, which I call sophisticated arrogance, where you know a lot, you maybe got some experience, and you now, word vomit, you have to tell everyone everything that you know. And this third stage, and I think this is the pinnacle, I call it quiet confidence.
That's the best kind. That is the best kind.
Yeah, you want to get technical? I can do that. But I'm just going to meet you where you're at.
It's a much more graceful way to go about.
And so either way, it's a process, right? That people go through, and why I created the Taylor method, why I'm an advisor, why I have my show, all the things I'm doing is I'm trying to be what I wish I had.
Yeah.
I didn't have someone like me saying, come here, kid, say this, do this, don't ever go here.
Yeah.
And that's as a result why I say I failed a lot. But fortunately for everyone else, I kept fighting, and now I'm trying to share. And I think as a mentor, it's not my desire for people to match me. It's for my desire for people to come and be better than me, faster than I did it.
That is a measure of true success, is the people that you inspire to excel and be the best versions of themselves they can be. That's leadership.
Right.
And speaking of leadership, like let's change gears. I mean, we'll stick with the Taylor method because it's so cool, right? The yoga stuff, right? So you practice yoga, meditation, and like talk to me a little bit about how that has impacted you as a business person and a human. I mean, the two are...
Yeah, I mean, health and wellness is everything. I've been an athlete, a mover my whole life. I played everything growing up. I was a 4-sport letterman in high school, played football, basketball, ran track, played baseball, got inducted to the Hall of Fame for athletics in my school, played college basketball. Not tall, but cast a large shadow, right? But again, I've always been a mover. And so yoga is something I found in adulthood. I wish I'd been doing it when I was younger, but it really just balanced me out. I think that, I don't want to call it I'm high strung, but I got a lot on my mind, a lot that I'm working through at all times. And so basketball for me was that one thing that I could do when I was playing. I wouldn't think about anything else. And to be frank, even when I started yoga, I was like, okay, I got to call Miss Johnson back or got to send an email. Like I was still like thinking about things, but I've gotten to the point where I can completely detach, and it's literally calmed me down so much. And it's like, it's this thought like, do you have a problem? No, I have no problems. Well, then great. Nothing to worry about. Do you have a problem? Yes, I have a problem. Can you do something about it? Yes, I can do something about it. Then great. There's nothing to worry about. Do you have a problem? Yes, I have a problem. Can you do something about it? No, I cannot do anything about it. Then great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess all paths lead, and what yoga's taught me is like, don't worry about it. Focus on process, the things you control, and detach yourself from the outcome. I don't control the outcome.
Yeah.
You don't control the outcome. They don't control the outcome. But have you done what's required of you? If you can check that box, yes.
You're good. So one piece of advice you would give to entrepreneurs and dreamers and people who admire so much the work that you have done, what is that the most important piece of advice you can offer to an entrepreneur?
Have a vision. Have a vision. As if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it with amazing accuracy, right? So where do you want to go? And then back out from that. And so it's not one piece of advice, it's really two parts. You must understand the difference between goals and desires.
Yeah.
Goals are things that you work for. Goals are things that have a definitive timetable of completion. Goals are things that are 100% within your control. Desires are things that you hope for. Desires are things that you pray for. Desires are things that do not have a definitive timetable of completion, that are outside of your control. And what happens is we oftentimes will mistakenly label our desires as goals. It is my goal to open up a company. It is my goal to be a millionaire. It is my goal to lose 10 pounds. It's my goal. None of those are your goals. All of those are your desires. Do you control whether you make $1 million or not? Do you control the stock market? Do you control interest rates? Do you control real estate? You don't.
Yeah.
The only thing you control is your effort. So a goal would be, I'm going to take this weekend and create a budget. Who controls that? You do. Right? I'm not going to spend more money than I make. Who controls that? You do. I'm going to invest 10% of my income in this stock investment or put towards real estate. You control that. Now, whether that thing does well or not,
that's a different thing.
Right? But my point is when you can check off the box of the actual goals, the things you control, then it puts yourself in a position for your desires to perhaps come to fruition, right? So if I say, okay, I'm gonna I'm going to open my company, rather than this abstract thought of opening a company, then back that down to palatable, actionable things. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the Department of Corporations and create an LLC, right? And I'm going to file my name with the Better Business Bureau, what have you. And now I'm going to create a business plan. These are all the things you control. Whether your product sells or not, whether your product's good or not. I mean, and these are things, yeah, so I think that's the thing. When you can back out, and this isn't only business, how you do some things is how you do everything. If you literally think about anything you want in your life, yes, be a big dreamer, think of that desire, but then back that down to what do you actually control, you will actually find yourself progress further in life. Because when you focus only on the desire and you call it your goal, it leaves you paralyzed. I'm going to open a business. What'd you do today? No, I was busy. I didn't.
Right.
I'm going to lose 10 pounds. That's my goal. Did you go to the gym? No, I woke up late. So it's my goal. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to go to the gym for 90 minutes every day. I'm going to cut out junk food, right? I'm going to get 7 to 8 hours a night of rest. Now, if I go to the gym every day and cut out junk food and get rest, will I lose 10 pounds? Maybe I will.
You have a better possibility if you do that.
But you see, those are the things I control.
Right.
What will the outcome be? I don't know. How quickly will we see that outcome? But what I will tell you is this. You have a far better chance of reaching that desire, having that come to fruition, if you do the goal,
right,
than sitting around and waiting for it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really happy that we got to have this interview today. I think the world is a much better place with you in it. And we wish you so, so much success, Eszylfie. Thank you so much. And I learned about the Taylor method, right? It's different hearing it from you than reading it, right? Like I think I might be a visual learner. Yeah. I mean, it really makes a lot of sense. And I think it'll help a lot of people.
Yeah. No, thank you so much.
Thank you.